student, my friend, Alec Binnie.
Thank you, Dr. Mott, for that generous introduction, and congratulations, English majors. I understand that I am the last obstacle remaining between you and your diplomas, so I will be brief. After 4 years, well, who are we kidding, 5 years of earnest effort, you are about to be graduated into the worst job market in decades with a degree that the world beyond North Campus routinely and foolishly undervalues. Along with this college education surely comes the good sense to be somewhat terrified. And somewhat terrified you should be. I'm assuming that a great number of you have already completed graduate school applications. And I know more than a few of you are working on a screenplay. Don't be shy. We know you've got a part that's perfect for Scarlett Johansson. And I hope at least a few of you still hold to the romantic ideal of struggling to finish that first novel, even if it means living in a drafty garage apartment and risking tuberculosis. All these are admirable pursuits, and I wish you luck in these endeavors, because I know you have a fear greater than the fear of never finding what your parents still insist upon referring to as a real job. I know that fear because it's the same fear I faced at my graduation. You are afraid that 20 years will pass, and you will awake to find that you have become me. I confess, I work in a profession that seemingly has nothing to do with my degree in American Studies. I lead an alarmingly conventional personal life. I live in a sleepy suburb where, as you drive into town, next to the signs for the Kiwanis and the Rotary Clubs, there should also be a banner that reads, "Quiet, please, men despairing." Yes, I've made myself at home in the world of Main Street, and I'm here to report that that world remains proudly dull. I'm sure you've been told at some point in your careers, do what you love, and the money will follow. Isn't it pretty to think so? After a brief and unremarkable career in journalism, I became a financial advisor. And over the last 17 years, I have advised hundreds of people who are successful in their own careers and who have become financially successful as a result. But among those hundreds of people, I have met not a single poet. The expression should really be, do what you love and enjoyment will follow. You might have to do something else to make a living, at least for a little while. So if graduate school turns you down, when Scarlett takes out the restraining order, and when you realize that people do actually develop tuberculosis in drafty garage apartments, know that you have a marketable talent that you do not yet appreciate. Shortly before my graduation 20 years ago, I went to dinner with a UCLA graduate who had just returned from China, where he had witnessed the Tiananmen Square massacre, and he had even helped to smuggle news footage of the event out of the country. But halfway through dinner, I found myself listening to a story and wondering, how could this person, a UCLA graduate no less, make an eyewitness account of this world-changing event sound so dull? And then I remembered, communications major. The problem with having spent the last 4 or so years in the UCLA English Department is that you have been surrounded by women and men who are masters at enlivening the works of people who have been dead for centuries. If you have made it this far, some of that talent has been transferred to you. Imagine now how easy it will be for you to enliven a different type of work that has been deadening for mere decades. When you arrived at UCLA, you came with a responsibility to your intellectual gifts. Now, upon graduation, you leave with a responsibility to all these people who helped you to develop those gifts. You have the responsibility to make your lives interesting, and not just to yourselves, but to everyone in your life, and even to the occasional stranger you might meet on a park bench or at a cocktail party. And to lead a truly interesting life, it will no longer be enough to be willing to try things and to risk failure in the ordinary ways. We are English majors. We must be willing to fail spectacularly spectacularly. While at UCLA, I appeared as a contestant on Jeopardy! Did I win, you ask? Let's put it this way. If you ever need a year's supply of Lee press-on nails, I'm your man. Not only did I not win, I missed the final Jeopardy! Question, the answer to which was, what is Iowa? Well, not knowing something trivial about Iowa is no great failing, unless, like me, you grew up in Des Moines. So as you enjoy your own spectacular failures, and I wish you many, you will discover that the real thrill is in the trying, and it is the most spectacular failures that lead to the most interesting cocktail party stories, and occasionally an opportunity to name drop shamelessly. As I discussed with Francis Ford Coppola over dinner one evening, early success allows you the opportunity to keep trying. But an unbroken string of successes in all your endeavors just makes you insufferable. So as you enjoy this early success today, know this, English majors, you have wit and word and worth and the power of speech to, if not always stir men's blood, at least transform the dull into something interesting. And as you accept these diplomas today, you also accept the responsibility to become the next vanguard of the interesting. So take them and ride out to storm the citadels of the dull. Good luck.